Hey guys, this is Griffin2Fly, and I am back here again, make you guys another video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So guess what guys, we're back here again, reading some more creepypasta stories. And guys, I have a good one for you. This is a story that I've heard a bunch of times, but I decided to come up here and tell you guys this story if you guys haven't heard about it. But if you guys didn't know, I also made another video that was my last video, and that was about me, 2Fly, talking about the Smiling Man. And that story was kind of creepy, and I kind of blamed the fault on the protagonist that was in this story. And the reason why is because that guy, like an idiot, decided to go ahead and walk between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning, which I'm surprised he doesn't even think that something bad would happen in that time. But you know, sometimes we have stupid people in this world, so what can you do? But lucky for the dude, he was able to get away, and yeah, so that was good. But just the thought of him like walking and that night and seeing a creepy smiling man walking all crazy about to attack him, yeah, that's kind of his fault for walking at that night. So if you guys haven't heard that story, I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to go ahead and hear that story again. Not again, but you know, first time I'm actually hearing that story. So awesome. But anyways guys, we're right here talking about another story, another creepypasta story. And guys, this story is called The Smiling Dog. Smile Dog. Whatever. I just said Smiling Dog, Smile Dog. Either way, it's still a creepy it's a creepy photo of a dog that's smiling. Wow, this is kind of funny. I'm making actually 2 videos in a row that has to do with smiling. Ugh. The next video might be another video that doesn't have to do with smiling, and you smile but get whipped off. Ugh. Imagine that. That's scary. Ugh. But yeah guys, we're right here again reading another creepypasta story, and let's not waste any more time, and let's go ahead and read the story of the Smile Dog. So, I first met in person with Mary E. in the summer of 2007. I had arranged with her husband of 15 years, Terrence, to see her for an interview. Mary had initially agreed since I was not a newsman, but rather an amateur writer gathering information for a few early college assignments and, if all went according to plan, some pieces of fiction. We scheduled the interview for a particular weekend when I was in Chicago on unrelated businesses, but at the last moment Mary changed her mind and locked herself in the couple's bedroom, refusing to meet with him. For half an hour I sat with Terrence as we camped outside the bedroom door, I listening and taking notes while he attempted fruitlessly to calm his wife. Oh, also guys, just to let you guys know before I continue on with the story, if I kind of mess up on the words right here, I apologize for that. I'll just go ahead and continue on with the story, even though if I mess up the words. But yeah, that's what I did on my last video. But anyways, let's go ahead and continue on with the story about the Smile Dog. The things Mary said made little sense, but fit with the pattern I was expecting. Though I could not see her, I could tell from her voice that she was crying, and more often than not her objections to speaking with me centered around an insurgent diatribe on her dreams, her nightmares. Terrence apologized profusely when he ceased the exercise, and I did my best to take it in stride. Recall that I wasn't a reporter in search of a story, but merely a curious young man in search of information. Besides, I thought at the time I could perhaps find another similar case if I put my mind and resources to it. Mary E. was the CISOP for a small Chicago-based bulletin board system in 1992. When she first encountered Smile Dog JPEG, and her life changed forever. She and Terrence had been married for only 5 months. Mary was one of an estimated 400 people who saw the image when it was posted as a hyperlink on the BBS. Though she is the only one who has spoken openly about the experience, the rest have remained anonymous. or perhaps dead. In 2005, when I was only in the 10th grade, Smile Dog JPEG was first brought to my attention by my burgeoning interest in web-based phenomena. Mary was the most often cited victim of what is sometimes referred as Smile Dog. The Bean Smile JPEG is reputed to display what caught my interest other than the obvious macabre elements of the cyber legend, and my proclivity toward such things was the sheer lack of information, usually to the point that people don't believe it when it exists other than a rumor of hoax. Let me scroll down just a little bit. It is unique because though the entire phenomenon centers on a picture file, that file is nowhere to be found on the internet. Certainly many photo-manipulated simulacra litter the web, showing up with the most frequency on sites such as the image board 4chan, particularly the X-Focus Paranormal Suburb. It is suspected these are fakes because they do not have the effect the true Smile JPEG is believed to have, namely sudden onset temporal lobe epilepsy and acute anxiety. This purported reaction is the viewer is one of the reasons the phantom-like Smile JPEG is regarded with such disdain, since it is patently absurd, though depending on whom you ask, the reluctance of acknowledgement Smile JPEG's existence might be just as much out of fear as it is out of disbelief. Neither Smile JPEG nor Smile Dog is mentioned anywhere on Wikipedia, though the website features articles on such other, perhaps more scandalous shock sites as Hello JPEG or Two Girls, One Cup. Any attempt to create a page pertaining to Smile JPEG is similarly deleted by any of the encyclopedia many admins. Encounters with the Smile JPEG are the stuff of internet legend. Mary E's story is not unique. There are unverified rumors of Smile JPEG showing up in the early days of the Unisat, and even the persistent tale that in 2002 a hacker flooded the forums of the humor and satire websites. Something awful with the deluge of Smile Dog pictures rendering almost half the forum's users at the time epileptic. Let me scroll down a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. Getting into the story. It's really scary. It is also said that the mid to late 90s that Smile JPEG circulated the Usenet and as an attachment of a chain email with the subject line, "Smile, God loves you." Yet despite the huge exposure these stunts would generate, there are very few people who admit to having experienced any of them, and no trace of the smile or any link has ever been discovered. Those who claim to have seen Smile JPEG often weakly joke that they were far too busy to save a copy of the picture to their hard drive. However, all alleged victims offer the same description of the photo. A dog-like creature, usually described as appearing similar to a Siberian husky, illuminated by the flash of the camera, sits in a dim room, the only background detail that is visible being a human hand extending from the darkness near the left side of the frame. The hand is empty, but is usually described as beaconing. Of course, most attention is given to the dog or dog creature, as some victims are more certain than others about what they claim to have seen. The muzzle of the beast is reputedly split and wide grin, revealing two rows of a very white, very straight, very sharp, very human-like teeth. This is of course not a description given immediately after viewing the picture, but rather a recollection of the victims, who claim to have seen the picture endlessly repeated in their minds, during the time they are, in reality, having epileptic fits. These fits are reported to continue intermittently, often while the victims asleep, resulting in very vivid and disturbing nightmares. These may be treated with medication, though in some sense it is more effective than others. Mary E. and I was not an effective medication. That was why after my visit to her apartment in 2007, I sent out feeders to several folklore and urban legend orientated news groups, websites, and mailing lists, hoping to find the name of the supposed victim of Smile Dog JPEG, who felt more interested in taking about his experiences. For a time, nothing happened, and at length I forgot completely about my pursuits. Since I had begun my freshman year of college and was quite busy, Mary contacted me via email. However, near the beginning of March 2008, added my moose juice to jml@.com, mary@.com.net. Subject: last summer's interview. Dear Mr. L, I am incredibly sorry about my behavior last summer. When you came to interview me, I hope you understand that this was not my fault, neither was yours, but rather my own problems that led to my act out as I did. Sorry about that. As I realized that I could have handled the situation more decorously, however, I hope you will forgive me. At the time, I was afraid. You see, for 15 years, I have been haunted by Smile JPEG. Smile Dog comes to me in my sleep every night. I know that sounds silly, but it is true. There is an ineffable quality about my dreams, my nightmares, that makes them completely unlike any real dreams I have ever had. I do not move and do not speak. I simply look ahead, and the only thing ahead of me is the scene from the horrible picture. I see the beckoning hand, and I see Smile Dog. It talks to me. It is not a dog, of course, though I am not quite sure what it really is. It tells me it really will leave me alone if only I do as it asks. All I must do is spread the word. That is how it phrases its demands, and I know exactly what it means. It wants me to show it to someone else, and I could. The week after my incident, I received in the mail a manila envelope with no return address. Aside was only a 3.5-inch floppy diskette. Without having to check, I knew precisely what was on it. I thought for a long time about my options. I could show it to a stranger, a coworker. I could even show it to Terrence. As much as the idea disgusted me, and what could have happened then? Well, if Smile Dog kept its word, I could sleep. Yet, if it lied, what could I do? And who was to say something worse would not come for me if I did as the creature asked? So I did nothing for 15 years. Though I kept the diskette hidden amongst my things, every night for 15 years Smile Dog has come to me in my sleep and demanded that I spread the word. For 15 years I have stood strong, though there have been hard times. Many of my fellow victims on the BBS board were where I first encountered Smile Dog JPEG. stopped posting. I heard some of them committed suicide. Others remained completely silent, simply disappearing off the face of the web. They are the ones I worry about the most. I sincerely hope you will forgive me, Mr. L. But last summer, when you contacted me and my husband about an interview, I was near the breaking point. I decided I was going to give you the floppy diskette. I did not care if Smile Dog was lying or not. I wanted it to end. You were a stranger, someone I had no connection with, and I thought I would not feel sorrow when you took the diskette as part of your research and sealed your fate. Before you arrived, I realized what I was doing was plotting to ruin your life. I could not stand the thought, and in fact I still cannot. I am ashamed, Mr. L, and I hope that this warning will dissuade you from further investigation of Smile Dog JPEG. You may in time encounter someone who is, if not weaker than I, then wholly more depraved, someone who will not hesitate to follow Smile Dog's orders. Stop while you are still whole. Sincerely, Mary E. Terrence contacted me later that month with the news that his wife had killed herself. While cleaning up the various things she left behind, closing email accounts and the like, he happened upon the message. He was a man in shambles. He wept as he told me to listen to his wife's advice. He'd found the diskette, he revealed, and burned it until it was nothing but a stinking pile of blackened plastic. The part that most disturbed him, however, was how the diskette had hissed as it melted, like some sort of animal, he said. I will admit that I was a little uncertain about how to respond to this. At first, I thought perhaps it was a joke, with a couple of belatedly playing with situations in order to get a rise out of me. A quick check of several Chicago newspapers' online obituaries, however, proved that Mary E. was indeed dead. There was, of course, no mention of suicide in the article. I decided that, for a time at least, I would not further pursue the subject of Smile Dog JPEG, especially since I had finals coming up the end of May. But the word was odd ways of testing us. Almost a full year after I'd returned from my disastrous interview with Mary E., I received another email to jml@.com from elzairi82.com. Subject: Smile. Hello. I found your email address through a mailing list. Your profile said you are interested in Smile Dog. I have saw it. It is not as bad as everyone says. I have sent it to you here, just spreading the word. Smiley face. The final line chilled me to the bone. According to my email client, there was one file attachment called Naturally Smile Dog JPEG. I considered downloading it for some time. It was mostly like a fake, I imagined, and even if it weren't, I was never wholly convinced of Smile Dog JPEG's peculiar powers. Mary E.'s account had shaken me, yes, but she was probably mentally unbalanced. Anyway, after all, how could a simple image do that Smile Dog JPEG was said to accomplish? What sort of creature was it that could break one's mind with only the power of the eyes? And if such things were patently absurd, then why did the legend exist at all? If I downloaded the image, if I looked at it, and if Mary turned out to be correct, If Smile Dog JPEG came to me in my dreams demanding I spread the word, what would I do? What would I live in my life as Mary had, fighting against the urge to give it in until I died? Or will I simply spread the word, eager to be put to rest? And if I chose the latter route, how could I do it? Whom would I burden it turn? If I went through, wait, oh man, I just messed up the whole vibe. Oh no. Okay, now I got it. If I went through with my earlier intention to write a short article about Smile Dog JPEG, I decided I could attach it as evidence. And anyone who read the article, anyone who took interest would be affected. And even assuming the Smile Dog JPEG attached to the email was genuine, would I be capricious enough to save myself in that manner? Could I spread the word? Yes. Yes, I could. Whew, man. Wow, that story is long. Wow, I didn't know. I did not actually suspect for this story to be long. Kind of a long story. Wow, it's so funny because I've heard this story before, but it was like a shorter version, but this one just gives up the whole details about what happens in the story. And man, I actually thought I was done with the story, but then I realized that there was some that was still left to read, guys. And wow, this story is like long, it's crazy, and holy shit, that was a long story. I messed up a couple words, but you know, we're not all perfect. Sometimes we mess up on words, and I knew it was gonna happen. It's just, dang, on the last paragraph, I messed up the vibe, and I was doing nice and good, and I messed up the vibe. I'm really mad about that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much about me, Too Fly, telling you guys the creepy story about the Smile Dog JPEG. And if you guys see the image of the Smile Dog, you can see that there is a hand in the image, and there is the dog, that's the husky dog right there with a creepy human-like smile, and it's just really creepy. And to let you guys know, there is a different version of this photo. There is a different version of this photo, and I'm surprised they didn't even mention right here in the story. But the different version happens is when you don't go ahead and email this letter or the picture of Smile Dog, the picture will change and it will show a even demonic Smile Dog, like a devil version of a Smile Dog without its skin, and it's just kind of creepy and scary. I will be showing you guys at the end of the video what it looks like, and you guys are gonna be creeped out about it. So yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you so much about me, Too Fly, telling you guys this scary story. Yeah, this story was long. I apologize for that, but you know what? It's always good to read a nice scary story and all that stuff. So, anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next Creepypasta stories. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay too cool, guys. Peace out.